Let's solve part F now. So suppose that there is a second group of these bamboo cutters and they are better at avoiding snakes, meaning that the probability of being bitten by a snake is only 0.1 regardless of precautions. Now if the insurance companies can distinguish between the two groups, then what would the second group insure themselves against this loss due to snake bites? Well, let's see. What's happening now? What's happening is that the premiums that the insurance companies is charging is going to be different since the probabilities differ. So let's see what that premium would be. Well, the premium would be based on the following probabilities. 0.1 probability that the guy gets bitten, so in that case he loses money, meaning that the insurance must compensate 4 euros, so 0.1 times 4, and with the remaining probability of 0.9 the guy does not get bitten, so in that case the insurance must not compensate anything, so that would be just 0. 0.1 times 4 is just 0.4, so the result of that premium would be 0.4 euros. So that would be the premium that he must charge. Now the question is, are the guys going to insure themselves? Are they going to buy insurance? Meaning we have to compare two expected utilities, insurance versus no insurance. So that's what we're going to do. In the first case, if he has no insurance, if the bamboo cutter has no insurance, is he gonna take precautions or not? Well, since the probability of being bitten is 0.1 regardless of precautions, that is the keyword, well, there is no advantage to take precautions because taking precautions only reduces utility by 1 euro. But if there's no benefit to have a higher expected utility from that because there's no change in probabilities, then there's no point to take precautions. Meaning that the guy, if he's not insured, he will not take precautions either. So no precautions. Now let's calculate that. We have the data over here. With the probability of 0.1, the guy gets bitten and his income would be just 0 euros. And the utility from that would be 8 times square root of 0. So we would have 8 times square root of 0. That's in the case of being bitten. So let's write the highlight of what's happening. That's in the case of being bitten. Now with the remaining probability, which is 0.9, so 0.9 times. What happens there? Well, the guy keeps all his income because he's not bitten, and the utility would be 8 times square root of 4. That would be his good income, his good case scenario. So in this case he's not bitten. In this case he is not bitten. Over here, not bitten. Now if we work out the math over here, what do we get? Well, this value from here is just gonna be 0 because we multiply with square root of 0, and the value on this side is just going to be equal to 14.4 euros. So that's the expected utility of not having an insurance. That's the keyword, no insurance, because we're looking for the opposite case now for the other case, which is the expected utility of having an insurance. Now what's the question? Are they going to take precautions with an insurance? Well, again, since precautions do not change the probabilities and they already pay a certain premium, which is 0.4, there is no point to take precautions because that would just decrease the expected utility by 1. So in this case, if they take the insurance, they take no precautions either. So plus no precautions. Now with that said, what's going to be the expected utility? Well, we know that there is a probability of 0.1 of being bitten, and if he is bitten, what's going to be the utility? Well, that's 8 times square root of the income, and the income would be equal to 4, right? Because the income would be how much the insurance company compensates. So he compensates 4 euros to cover for the loss, but the guy must pay 0.4 in premium for that insurance, meaning that the income will be 4 minus 0.4, 4 minus the premium for the insurance. That's in the case of being bitten. So that's in the case of being bitten. Now with the remaining probability of 0.9, the guy does not get bitten, so his utility would be 8 times the square root of income, and his income would be the good income, which is 4 euros. But again, we're thinking about paying for the insurance, so we must take into account the premium for the insurance, so minus 0.4 as well. Now what's happening? What is going to be the result of all this math over here? Let me actually write that this is the case of not being bitten to just keep track easier. This is the case of not being bitten. And the result of all this math over here would be equal to 15.17. So that would be 15.17. What do we notice is that 15.17 is greater than the alternative, is greater than 14.4. Meaning that although this guy he's so good at avoiding snakes, it's still wiser to get the insurance. He is better off. So better off with insurance. Better off with insurance. Hope this makes sense. In the next video, we solve the last part.